Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today checking out the last few beers that I got from Gänstaller in Bamberg, Germany. They were kind enough to send out a few samples of their beers, and these are the last two I have left. Really thoroughly enjoyed these so far. Brett had a few of them with me. He's also thought they've been really good. So yeah, it's awesome to hear like a lot of people have recommended them and a lot of people said like you were gonna love this, and yeah, it lives up to what people's been saying. And I don't want to say it's hyped, but a lot of people just told me that this is like Class A German beer. So the final two ones, I think one of them could be one of my favorites because of the style, because it's a Rauchbier. But we're checking out their burned malt, which is made in collaboration with Sakiškių Brewery in Lithuania, which is the Rauchbier. It's a Märzen done as a Rauchbier, kind of like Schlenkerla in Bamberg. And then we have their Amarillo Starkbier, and they call it, say on the back here, Bock at its best, feed Amarillo hops. So an Amarillo hopped Bock. So I'm thinking this is like an attempt at a My Bock, making it hoppy and adding Amarillo, because it's 7% and it's 48 IBUs, so it's going to be a fairly bitter Bock. That's at least, you know, what I'd expect, like a Hellebuck or My Bock, especially also looking at the color. So I think we're going to go in terms of ABV and start out with the smoke beer first. As you know, I'm a huge fanatic of Rauchbier. I've been to Bamberg many times and it's one of my favorite beer cities in the world. If you love Franconian well-brewed lager beers in both, you know, Cyclic beer, Keller beer, Helles shapes or types, or even, you know, Pilsners. There are so many breweries that nail it so well. And then there is the iconic Rauchbier, the beer style that Bamberg is famous for. And, you know, it'll be really fun to see what Gänstaller does with it. I always critique with Schlenkerla in mind, because that's my favorite Rauchbier from Brauerei Heller. And I got a box of some stuff coming from Brauerei Heller from their web shop, because they re-released the a limited edition run of the unfiltered Helles Lager. So I got some more just to have for the spring, along with a few different vintage bottles to share with you guys on the channel, which will be fun. So yeah, let's dive in here to the Gänstaller Burn Malt. 5.5%, 30 IBU, Märzen with smoked malt. Beechwood smoked malt. Poured a little too much in the glass here, I think, because it just went over the sides trying to swirl it. Maybe I shouldn't have swirled it. But, you know, gotta get all that beer in there for a nice head for the thumbnail. But it looks nice in the glass. It's a lightly hazy copper, or as I say, dark red. It says dark red on the can, dark red color. It looks a lot like what I expect from a Märzen, especially, you know, if you compare it to Schlenkerla. It's the same color. And it's like a nice tan, like a beige head on top. But let's check out the aroma on burned malt. There we go. Man, it's that awesome meaty smoke. It's like the bacony and sausage. But what's really interesting, it almost reminds me of stew. Like there's almost like oniony vibes, like cooked smoky onion. It's really interesting. It's like when you cook up a stew and you use Rauchbier in it, it has like vibes of that. Or if just like if you smoke meat and it's like got like onion powder if it's in the rub, or if you use like some kind of onion-based marinade. It's like, it could be a hop thing. Now it's kind of faded again. Maybe it's my hands, because I cut onions today. Hands mixed with Rauchbier, that could be. It smells really good. Really bready. The same theme of all their beers, like crazy bready, fresh malt character. Yeah, smoked ham, smoked bacon, smoked sausage. That lovely beechwood smoked malt aroma that's super savory and umami-like. Yeah, and there's a hint of toasty nuttiness, like fresh kind of Munich malt-esque aromas. Man, it smells good. My saliva is gushing. Let's try it, guys. Cheers, and thanks to Gänstaller for the beers. It's smoky. Man, that is good. Oh, man, that is really well brewed. That is fucking delicious Rauchbier. Super velvety. Like so velvety and creamy. And it's the perfect temperature. I think Rauchbier shouldn't be drunk too cold. I like to chill them and then take them out like 30 minutes or so out of the fridge before I drink them. Just so I can get a bit of temperature. Just lightly chilled. And that's perfect for this. It's a perfect temperature. Man, what great flavor. I'd say this definitely combats the Märzen from Schlenkerla. I think it might be a little bit more creamy. Like, it's really velvety, and it's only 5.5%, which is nuts. Like, so soft and pillowy and velvety, and really, like, meaty. Loads of bacon. Like, I love it. They haven't skimped on the smoked malt. It lets itself know that this is Rauchbier. Wow. I think this is better. So, my top Rauchbier producers in Bamberg would be number 1, Schlenkerla. Number 2, Brauerei Spezial. Then there's a lot of other breweries that do Rauchbiers, like Drei Kronen, and there's a few, but none of them reach their levels. I think this is like above Spezial, at least some of it. It has more smoke character than Spezial's their Rauchbier, their regular, I think it's called Rauchbier, Lagerbier, something like that, which is their like year-round release, and I think they also do a Märzen, and you know, Schlenkerla's year-round releases a Märzen like this, but fuck, this is really good. It is really chasing Schlenkerla's Märzen at the heels, man. Wow. I need to talk about flavors. Such a delicate, awesome, meaty smoke. Like really nice smoky ham or smoked bacon or smoked sausages. I really think ham and bacon. It just reminds me of when I made homemade bacon a few weeks back, which turned out delicious, by the way. Smoked over some cherry wood and maple wood. But man, it's got like that full-on meaty, smoky flavor that malt gives off. And then again, it's hugely bready. It's like a pumpernickel, like a hefty brown bread smeared with bacon, or not smeared, but like layered with bacon. That's almost like the flavor you get. And there's like that almost like oniony thing is definitely in there too. It's just like super light. I think it might be a little bit of a hoppy vibe. Like an oniony, spicy, definitely black pepper hop thing. The hops really help balance the sweet, heavy, meaty smoke, or just like heavy, meaty smoke, and like it's more sweet, bready malt really. But it helps balance that perfectly. Man, this is one of my favorites from these guys so far. This and the Kellerpils and the Helles. And this, all of them are really good. I'd say my least favorite has been the Weizen, just because I prefer the other styles. Fuck. I want to hop onto their webshop and buy some of this. Like, I need to get more of this Rauchbier. This is fantastic. Both that and like the lagers so far have been totally outstanding. Really good, man. But yeah, some kind of nutty vibes on it too. There's caramel, toffee notes. Love that like dark brown bread, burnt, like freshly baked brown bread, like hefty breadiness that just carries through in all their beers, it seems. Very clean finish with nice meaty smoke and like a nice dry, peppery, spicy hop thing. And then yeah, it's just so velvety. This would be so fun to do in a blind battle with Schlenkerla. Man. That would be so fun. So, let's jump on to this one. This is the Amarillo. As I said, the Hella Bock, I think, or my Bock, with Amarillo hops. So, Bocks are usually not my favorite, but really well-made Hella Bock, or my Bock, can be really good, or Double Bock or Dunkle Bock. I usually prefer those instead of the in-between. They're just like regular Bock. It's because a Double Bock can be really nice, but it's rare that I get Bocks where I'm fired up. But I think the last few times I actually did review some Bock beer, I really liked it. And that was the my Bock from Zentner, which was nuts. So this looks fantastic too. It is unfiltered. I think most of the beers are unfiltered, which is awesome. Like it has like some particles floating around, which I don't mind whatsoever, but it looks nice. It's like otherwise like it's just a light haze. Otherwise when you swirl it around, it's like crystal clear. And it's got a nice kind of white head to it. It just like it foamed up like crazy, the beer. If I pour some in now, like okay, it's not too intense now, but when I just cracked it, there was a lot of CO2, I guess, because it just foamed up like crazy. But it looks like a very nice glass of like Bock. It looks more amber on camera, but in real life it's like a golden yellow with a light amber touch. They say golden orange. Yeah, I guess that's the deal. That's the color. But yeah, it looks great. Let's check out the aroma on Amarillo. Ooh, yeah. The Amarillo is definitely there. Often when I get classic beers where they put in a little bit of modern new school hops, I'm not too enticed. But this carries on with everything they've done so far. Like, just dead on classic brewed beer. Again, this is also really bready, and it smells like a Bock. It doesn't smell like an India Pale Lager. And I think that's the most important thing when you do lagers with New World hops. Be scarce with them. Don't be as generous as you would be in an IPA, because then you're making India Pale Lager. Just be a bit careful with the hopping and make it gentle, so you taste all the other nuances of the classic style, either like a Pilsner or a Bock like this, a Hella Bock. But yeah, it's like a gentle orange peel or just like orange aroma, and underneath that, like mainly, I'm getting freshly baked bread. And there's also some peppery spice. Yeah, and a little bit. Brett talked about that in the Pilsner, almost soapy. I don't think it's too bad. It smells like it's going to be fairly bitter too. Really grassy and like spicy floral too. It smells really good actually. Let's try it, guys. Cheers. Much more bitter than I expected. Ooh, it's got like, it's really woody and earthy. I didn't expect that either. It's right there on the edge. Like, this is going right to the edge of hopping a classic beer without calling it an India Pale Lager. Because I don't think it's, it's definitely not hoppy enough to be an India Pale Lager. It's definitely, first and foremost like a Maibach with a lot of carbonation and a really succinct bitterness, or just like forward bitterness, which is really nice. It's a bit more sweet. Like it's definitely got like a huge sweet bready, kind of like I don't know, is it almost like brioche or something like that? It's like really big sweet kind of bread. I don't think it's buttery as brioche, but it's like a really sweet breadiness. Brioche is just what's come to mind because it's a bit sweeter. Or limpan bread from Sweden. I think it's limpan bread. Because that's like a sweeter, slightly more sugary bread. Like, it's nuances like this you need to look for in these kind of classic beers. Huge, that bitter popping. It's like slightly grapefruity and like dry, pithy, orangey. But then aftertaste right now is like really earthy, peppery, woodsy, or holzig flavors. Like, what do you expect in like a lot of like beers with classic German hops? I think it's good though. Like, for what it is, it's very nice. It's just not something that I'm going to be totally excited about just because it's not my preference. I think this and the Amarillo here and the Weizen will be my least favorites of what I've tried from them so far, but I still think they're nice beers, that's for sure. If we say Schlenkerla Märzen is a 95, this is just at the heels at a 94. Maybe actually the Märzen from Schlenkerla should be a 96, to be honest. Because this is a 95. This is actually world-class Rauchbier. I think if I got this blind, there's a big chance I'd like this more just because it's a bit more creamy and velvety. Let's put Schlenkerla at a 96 and this at a 95. Because this is world-class Rauchbier. This is, like, it's so rare that I find anything that I think is as good as Schlenkerla, or at least, like, close. So, yeah, I'll put Schlenkerla one grade higher just because I think it's just a little bit more distinct. But, this would really be fun to battle against the Märzen. And I have some fresh Märzen coming, so maybe I should get on getting some of this just to do a blind for you guys. That could be fun. So, but yeah, around 95, 94 for that one. And then for the Bock here, the Amarillo. Let's go with an 88, 89. I mean, it's a nice Bock. It's got the flavors you want in the style. And then it's got that extra addition of awesome, Amarillo hops, more new school approach without being crazy new. And it's, it still tastes more or less like an old school beer, which I think is awesome. That's the theme, I guess, of this brewery. Like, old school, just at the edge. And I like that, because they just nail classic styles. Man, Gänstaller is something to look out for, and I love that they're doing cans too. That's awesome. More classic German brewers should look into doing something like this, at least in Europe. I know Schlenkerla already does it with shipping beer over to the States in huge tanks, and then having them tapped in cans over there. But yeah, really good stuff. Really love the selection from Gänstaller. If you guys had a chance to try any of these, let me know what you thought of them. This one is a huge recommend if you like Rauchbiers. That is phenomenal. And yeah, you can get their stuff on their web shop, or just on the website if you want to try some. They ship, I think, pretty much all over Europe. So hop on there and check them out if you want to try some. Thanks a ton also to Gänstaller for the beers. Really enjoy these. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting more in the future. So if you guys had a chance to try any of these, let me know what you think of them. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, Twitter, and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers in delicious Rauchbier. And see you guys in another beer review.